Open your eyes and your mind to the realism of Nintendo 64 as you play Super Mario 64.
Mario.
Submerge in a 3D environment with 15 worlds of beautiful graphics and 10 special areas, and of course, Mario. Move an incredible 360 degrees as you embark on Mario's greatest adventure to recover the stolen Power Stars and defeat his mortal enemy, Bowser. Mario acquires special abilities by changing hats. Fly with the feathered hat. Use the invisible hat to vanish. And become invincible with the metal hat. Use these powers to combat giant 3D enemies as you see the action through Mario's eyes. 64 megs of power and battery backup let you experience Mario like never before. It's Super Mario 64.
What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Izzy's Retro Video Game Reviews. And on today's episode, I'm going to be taking a look at the first game that I ever played for the Nintendo 64, and that is Super Mario 64, man. Super Mario 64 was released on June 23rd, 1996, and later they did a couple of re-releases for later Nintendo systems, the Nintendo Switch, the Nintendo Wii, and the Nintendo 3DS had a version of Super Mario 64. But no, we're gonna be talking about the original, man. So, what I remember about this is, I didn't get a Nintendo 64 until Christmas of '96. So I was up until then, I either asked my buddy Steven to borrow it because he my dude that used to live in the neighborhood, shout out to Steven, by the way, still talk to him, but he used to live in the neighborhood, and he used to have all the new systems when it came out. It was because of him that I first played the Dreamcast and the PlayStation 2, and this was no different. He had the N64, so I would either ask him to borrow it, or back in the day, Blockbuster, not only could you rent video games and movies from them, you could also rent systems. Whenever I guess they did that as a way to, not everybody could afford a new system, so you come on a Blockbuster, you rent the system, you rent whatever games you want. But the only downside to that is you had the systems for the length of a new release, which was 2 days. So no matter whatever system you rented, you can only do it for 2 days, which was okay because I was only, as a little kid, I was only allowed to play on the weekends anyway. So then, no harm, no foul there. But I remember renting Super Mario 64, and just being in awe of it. I was a fan of Super Mario growing up. I played it on the NES, and then later on the Super NES. So I was definitely a fan of Mario, but this took it to a whole new level. It looks so beautiful. The graphics were so ahead of their time. And instead of it just being one linear path like previous Mario games, pretty straightforward. This was the first open world Mario game that I remember, and you can basically just go anywhere in the world. I remember you would have to jump through the pictures in the castle to get to a new level, to get to a new world, I should say. And then instead of having your typical power-ups like stars and everything like that, Mario would actually switch hats. There was a flying hat. You would gain a little bit of invincibility with a metal hat, and then and stuff like that. So it was a very, very it wasn't afraid to blend the classic, Super Mario themes that we love and we grew up on, and it wasn't afraid to take a step outside of the box with all the new technology that they had that came with the Nintendo 64. and I just remember having a lot of fun with this. I don't know how far I got, but I do know that I had a lot of fun with it, and it holds a special place in my heart. Like I said, because it is the first game that I played on Nintendo 64. I never actually owned a copy myself, which I kind of regret. But still I played it enough to have a fond memory of it, and my brother Gus, who I talk a lot about on this channel, and he grew up playing video games as well. So as soon as he saw Super Mario 64, he was like, "Man, this is cool. I gotta get in on that." So we would just alternate the control because it was just one player, and just seeing him trying to get through the levels and me just running around roaming the open world. Never used to want to beat games back in the day. I used to always just like to run around and see what kind of trouble I could get myself into in the video game world, and that was my fun with video games. Of course, now it's all about beating them and trying to be the best at whatever game I'm playing. But back then it was all about fun. Yeah, and it's still all about fun. Anyway, but yeah. So before I get out of here, I'm gonna hit you with a little bit of the Mandela effect. Are you ready? As it pertains to Super Mario. So let me know how many of you knew this, or if you didn't know this, you're about to learn something new. You ready? All right. So when you first boot up the game, and you see the title screen, it says Super Mario 64, and then everybody and their mother, myself included, and I learned this very very recently, but he is not saying Charles Marionette, the classic voice of Mario, is not saying it's a me Mario in his classic Italian accent. He's actually saying it's me Mario. So basically, Itsumi in Japanese means super. So he's just saying Super Mario, but it sounds like it's me. It's a me, like in Italian accent. So that is your Mandela effect, and we've been saying it wrong the whole time. There's no better way, no other way to put it, as we've been saying it wrong the whole time. I was dumbfounded when I learned this. Because, like I said, we've been saying it wrong the whole time. But anyway, yeah, that is going to do it for this episode of Izzy's Retro Video Game Reviews. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget to hit that notification button so you don't miss a video. And I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.